Folks making their way into PNC Park will check out Legacy Square, some of the great players in baseball history, as we pay tribute to the African-American heritage in Pittsburgh. The Homestead Grays, the Pirates will be wearing those uniforms tonight. Some of the great players like Cool Papa Bell, Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and the rest. Greg Brown, Steve Blass with you, along with Robbie and Smikowski. We'll talk about African-American Heritage Night as we go along. But, Steve, everybody is asking the same question tonight. What is wrong with the defending World Series champion Chicago Cubs?
Nobody knows, Greg. It is baffling. This is one of the great teams last year. They were doing it with pitching, they were doing it with hitting. But take a look at the comparison. Last year's record, 44 and 20. This year, the numbers, they're not pitching, they're not hitting, so they're very vulnerable. Who thought they would be at this spot in the National League Central this point in the year, trailing the Milwaukee Brewers?
Yeah, at this time last year, they were 9 games up in the division, on their way to running away with it. We'll check out tonight's pitching matchup. Trevor Williams, the rookie right-hander, on the mound against a one-time Rocky, Eddie Butler, on the hill.
Yeah, Trevor Williams, pretty good in the middle. He had a tough first start. His last start was tough against the Marlins. In between, 5 pretty decent outings.
The Pirates and the Chicago Cubs, the Bucks have won 4 of the first 6 meetings this season against the Cubbies. Again, it's a Friday Night Rocks, and it is African-American Heritage Night. The Bucks and the Cubbies are coming up next. Friday Night Rocks on Root Sports is presented by IC Light. Good stuff from good brother Earl. Summerland. Yep, it feels like summer in the Berg. And Josh Harrison leads the way for the Pirates, wearing the Homestead Grays uniforms.
And he's a young man that can handle the heritage too.
And appreciates that heritage as well. Fans will continue to come in. We expect a large contingent of Cub fans on hand to watch their Cubbies. And Joe Maddon's lineup looks like this. Anthony Rizzo leads off for a third straight game. He has a 9-game hitting streak. Ian Happ hits right behind him. The Mount Lebanon high school product. Kyle Schwarber hits third. Then it's Addison Russell cleanup. Jason Hayward in right. Wilson Contreras, the strong arm catcher. Tommy LaStella is at third base. Eddie Butler hits 8th, and Albert Almora Jr. is 9th in center. Anthony Rizzo, the 9-game hitting streak, and has homered in each of the last 2 games.
Trevor Williams makes start number 8. Struggled in his first start against the Dodgers, last start against the Marlins. 5 good outings in between. So Trevor Williams making start number 8. He has a win against the Cubs this year out of the bullpen, his first career start against the Cubbies. His control has been outstanding. The 7 starts, 6 free passes. He's got that going for him, which is nice.
And nice to have Francisco Cervelli catching him. Second straight start for Cervelli. Of course, the Pirates had the day off yesterday. And underway. And Anthony Rizzo, the swing and the miss.
So strange to see him leading off, but it's been good. He's hit the ball out of the ballpark. These pretty much home run happy Cubs. The average is way down. Still hitting the ball over the fence.
And he has homered leading off in both games. Cubs wearing the Chicago Leland Giants uniforms. There's a Western Independent Club, Negro Leagues. And that is crushed to right field. That is a fair ball. Oh my word! Into the river. He has homered in each of the last 3 games leading off. Hello, Mr. Rizzo. Cubs lead 1-0.
Not just homering, drenching the baseball into the Allegheny.
Shot for Rizzo, number 16. Just a matter of whether it's going to be fair or not. Now they're going to gather and discuss this and decide whether they want to review it. Will Little, the home plate umpire. The crew chief is Jeff Kellogg. The man who made the call is Clint Fagan, the first base umpire, over that foul pole.
And that's a tough call. It was that close to being foul. Emphatic fair decision. 1 bounce.
He's calling it I think he called it a foul ball just now, Steve. I think they just changed the call. That was Jeff Kellogg, and the home plate umpire Will Little came back after the conference and said foul ball. So Rizzo will have to bat again.
Well, they are furious. This is a struggling Cubs team, and
I don't think Maddon's going to last long. That is Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief. Wow.
Yeah,
they reversed the call after the conference. Joe Maddon's not going to last.
Well, you talk about an emotional roller coaster. What a great start for them is not a great start for them. I think you're right, Greg. I think he will stay out there until, as long as it takes. No.
Well, he's going to say at least you could review it. At the very least you could do is call New York. So he convinces them to do that.
Well, what a start to the series.
And you know the problem is, well, that looks like a foul ball. That shot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Well, I don't blame Rizzo. I mean, well, that didn't take long. That didn't take long at all. Now, I don't know. Maddon's saying this is going to be it. He's going to be gone here any second.
And they're holding
Rizzo, yeah. Rizzo, George Brett-like, wanted to sprint from the dugout. And there he goes. You're out of here.
Joey's just got in town.
And he's not done yet. He's going to get his money's worth. He's going back out to Kellogg, who wants nothing to do with Joe Madden. So Madden, again, initially called the home run. Then they got together, overturned it, and Madden said, at least call New York. That was the quickest replay I think I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah.
So the call was upheld. There was a crew chief review. What a start to this series. The Pirates have missed playing National League Central Division ball. 35 games outside the division. Tonight begins 11 straight.
You know, they're giving him a long rope, but they got to get him out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hearing it. That doesn't bother him. But the umpires give him the rope and then get him off the field.
He has been ejected, yeah. So at least they've calmed down Rizzo to a degree. You know, when all is said and done, that replay that we saw, it did look like it was a foul ball. So ultimately, they got it right. Jeff Kellogg again, the crew chief. The man that made the call there, Clint Fagan. How about that? Another look.
You don't know how far past the pole the ball is at that point.
It's true.
But
this was after the review. Still foul.
Was that hit 35 seconds?
Was it that long? Rizzo reacted. That's a fair ball. That's nonsense, man. So Rizzo has the home run for now taken away, and now second life for Williams and the Pirates. A very close pitch. Well, we bet the umpires.
Do we ever?
Will Little calling the balls and strikes. Clint Fagan at first. Tim Timmons at second. The crew chief Jeff Kellogg. Very close again, and now Will Little looks out at Williams and emphatically says that ball was outside.
And it was. Wonder if he should be looking at Cervelli too.
3-2. What a start. And he walked him after all that. Check out the Honda defense. Jordy Mercer back at shortstop. Josh Harrison at second. David Freese, Josh Bell on the corners. Adam Frazier, Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco in the outfield left to right. And Francisco Cervelli, who missed a week with concussion DL.
Boy, if you didn't believe us when we told you Friday night rocks.
It rocks.
It rocks. It's rocking.
In the air the other way, Ian Happ, Mount Lebanon product. Well, he spent quite a bit of time with the local media. This first round pick 2 years ago, 9th overall out of the University of Cincinnati.
How about the helmets and the hats? Nothing on them. They're flat black.
Ian Happ playing his 29th big league game. And the first rounder out of the University of Cincinnati. 22 years old. Josh Harrison, of course, was drafted by the Cubs in the 6th round out of the University of Cincinnati in 2008. Ian Happ, 7 home runs.
Yeah, but a 209 average. So when he hits it, it goes.
Five homers in his last 6 starts. In his first career grand slam on Tuesday against the Mets. Rivers Casino tips to win.
And speaking of Ian Happ, don't let tonight be a happening. And 6 strong innings from Trevor Williams. A long way in getting you a W.
And the other way, didn't hit it hard, but just enough to get it past third with Freese well off the line. Ian Happ singles Rizzo to second. 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, this sounded like it was hit with a wet newspaper right off the end of the bat, but does a good job with a good-looking pitch.
Listen to this.
Bump. But they're in business. This is a struggling Cubs team on the road. They're 13-18.
Kyle Schwarber was leading off every game up until just a little over a week ago.
Excuse me, 12-18.
Dozen homers for Kyle Schwarber.
How about the collars on these uniforms for the Lelands? Very stylish.
Yeah, understated.
Mm-hmm.
Williams out in front of Schwarber, 0-2. 2 on, nobody out. Kyle Schwarber, who missed all but 2 games of the regular season last year, tore his ACL, the left knee, then came back and played in the World Series and hit .412 against the Indians. That's 7 for 17.
Well rested.
Bench coach now taking over the club
on the
Dave
right.
Martinez.
He probably thought the ball was fair also. Once again being framed to pitch out away from the strike zone.
2-2. Trevor Williams has walked just 14 now in his 47+ innings. His last start went 4 against the Marlins, gave up 5 runs on 6 hits. And this could be trouble. It is. Frazier will throw to third and get the out.
Just to make the Cubs a little hotter.
Rizzo of all people. Now they still have a challenge. They had a crew chief review of the home run, and Rizzo thinks there's no way I'm out. Frazier threw to third, the one hopper. Dave Martinez, the bench coach and now acting manager, on the phone to the clubhouse. Gary Jones, the third base coach.
How about if they uphold this? A little bit blocked with the ball coming into Freese. He's got a good case.
He's got his foot on the bag, though.
Yep.
If Freese does. It's going to be hard to overturn. They're going to challenge it, looks like. No. Now the this is unbelievable. The 30 seconds is up. And so Will Little was going over to Dave Martinez. Of course, Terry Collins got ejected, if I'm not mistaken, a little over a week ago, the Mets manager, for taking too long. That 30-second rule. Brad Ausmus as well. But I suppose because Dave Martinez, I'm guessing here, is the bench coach and acting manager, maybe got a little more leeway, but they're not going to challenge. And what an out that is at third base.
This is crazy.
Really crazy.
It is rocking.
How about that? Jeff Kellogg. Pretty busy stuff. So the force goes 7-5. Schwarber figured he had a hit, and there's a bouncer toward Freese. They get one. They will not get two. A close play. Not really a double play ball, and Russell runs pretty well anyway.
The ball comes up on David Freese, and he is able to handle it, but the play really unfolds very slowly. Awkward receiving for David. He stays with it, and they get the out that they could. If they put up a 0 here, it will be one of the most bizarre scoreless half innings I've ever seen.
Jeez. Russell on first with the fielder's choice. Over to third is Happ with 2 outs. Here's Jason Hayward. Backs him up a bit.
Traditional pitch thrown with no excitement.
The rookie Trevor Williams. This is his 9th major league start, his 8th this season. Just his 21st big league appearance.
One inning of relief against the Cubs on April 15th got him a win. He has added 2 more since getting into the rotation. A couple blown saves out of his 7 previous starts. But, tough first start. 3 innings against the Los Angeles Dodgers and 6 earned runs.
Trevor Williams, 25 years old, the San Diego native. 1-1 on Hayward. 2-1. Hayward with 6 home runs this season. Struggled at the plate last year.
Do you think after last year the Cubs would have come up with a starting lineup that did not have 1 300 hitter? Well, he's got La Stella, but La Stella hasn't played very much. Just called up today, by the way.
2-1. And now a full count with Wilson Contreras on deck, or 3-1 rather. Wilson Contreras on deck. Hayward a 2-run homer on Tuesday against the Mets. His 29 RBIs are second on the club. There you see the lineup card, and giving Chris Bryant the night off. Two walks in the inning, and they are loaded. Following the Rizzo walk, the home run that was reversed, called a foul ball. Ian Happ blooped one off the end of the bat for a single. Schwarber then dropped that one into shallow left, and here comes pitching coach Ray Searage, an early visit. Russell hit the bouncer to Freese, and the walk now to Hayward.
Well, the one thing we know early on in this ball game, the Pirates have Anthony Rizzo's number. We got him figured out.
Ray Searage, along with Francisco Cervelli, suggestions perhaps for Trevor Williams,
as he will be throwing his 24th pitch here in the first inning.
Second round pick in 2013 by the Marlins. There's Jameson Taillon. He returned to the mound during his homestand on Monday night. Got the win. Beat the Colorado Rockies. Anthony Rizzo was fit to be tied, and that call was reversed.
Interesting uniforms. They remind me of the beer can for Red Stripe beer out of Jamaica.
Chicago Lelands, managed by Rube Foster for a time.
So far, Ray Searage's visit paying dividends. Nice looking delivery to start off the at bat.
Looking for a big out with the bases loaded. It's a foul ball. Leland's named for the team owner, Frank Leland. They were in business from 1905 to 1911. They would merge with the Chicago Unions and the Chicago Columbia Giants to form the Chicago American Giants after the 1910 year. You see one grand slam this year for Contreras. 0-2. And this will score a run. After all of that.
This is something else here tonight.
It is Ian Happ who scores on the wild pitch.
Just really spiked this breaking ball. So really trying to get over, couldn't get enough of the body in front of it.
So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Contreras. And this hit a long way to right center. Polanco back. Not able to make the play. Contreras is headed to third. He will be out, but he'll get credit for the 2-run double to give the Cubs a 3-0 lead. A wild top of the first. Russell and Hayward score. Contreras the 2-run double. For the Anthony Rizzo foul ball. Rizzo and the rest of us, including the Cubs, thought it was a home run. As it turns out, Rizzo doesn't score, but 3 of his teammates do. And Adam Frazier will be leading things off out of our RAV4 starting lineup. Josh Harris will hit second, and Gregory Polanco and David Freese. With Josh Bell hitting 5th. Andrew McCutchen is batting .423 on this homestand. Francisco Cervelli bats 7th. Jordy Mercer and Trevor Williams facing Eddie Butler.
The Butler did it. Eddie Butler coming over just before spring training started from the Rockies. Of course, the 3 years in Colorado. His 6 starts, 3-2, 4.03 ERA.
Steve, if we aren't confused enough, I think Clint Hurdle isn't happy with those white sleeves.
Of course not. Yeah.
Now, can you envision this? The trainer coming out with a pair of scissors. I think.
Are you kidding?
I think. Yeah. Yep. Oh, you're going to roll them up.
What if they find a emery board under that undershirt?
Well, then we'd have it all.
Don't do anything with the collars. The collars look too good. I mean, it's not a Kohler collar, but it's a collar.
Yeah, Wilson Contreras says, you know what, let's get the scissors. And here we go.
You're seeing it first here, folks. If you don't think we bring stuff to you on a Friday night, I'll tell you.
That's right.
I'll tell you.
You got another thing coming.
You better not miss another Friday night.
That's right. And this is game one. You got opportunities to come out and see these two clubs play tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon.
Now this is the big leagues. You better cut both of them off so they look balanced and matched. That should go to Cooperstown. That's it. Balance it up.
When you see something like this, do you think of Earl Weaver?
I don't know if Earl could come up with this. Yeah. How about Bill Veck or something? You know. But yeah.
What rule was it that he tried to get you on?
Rule 801.
801.
Yeah.
During the World Series.
Yeah.
How about that?
Now that's getting some FaceTime if you're a trainer right there.
Will he give that to the authenticator? Those two cut-off sleeves.
Eddie
You could auction those off.
Come on, throw them in the stands. Give them to a fan like you do with the baseballs and stuff.
Give it to him. He needs to put a silver label on it.
This is something a little different here tonight.
So you were saying,
put your collar down.
You were saying about Eddie Butler when
where was I?
When he got called the sleeves rule on him.
Yeah, let's look at the Cubs defense. Yeah.
Well, the Pirates will face Tommy La Stella at third, Addison Russell at short, Ian Happ and Anthony Rizzo on the right side, Schwarber, Almora, Hayward in the outfield left to right, and Contreras behind the plate. So Tommy La Stella plays third base tonight. Chris Bryant getting the night off. The Pirates have their work cut out for them as they trail early 3-0.
Control issues for Eddie Butler. We'll talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about it now. He had 4 starts in the month of May, totaling 18 innings, walked 13. And those 4 starts. We want to have patience. Out of Chesapeake, Virginia, 26-year-old Eddie Butler.
Happ.
A conventional play.
Trevor Williams walked a couple, threw a lot of pitches.
His control has been excellent as a starter, but tonight maybe just too many bizarre circumstances.
Josh Harrison.
Well, think at the top of the first from the Cubs' perspective. Ecstasy, agony, a little more agony, and then a 3-run lead.
Wilson Contreras got the double. Looked as though Polanco had a little bit of a beat on it. Made the attempt at the wall. Polanco on deck. And Andrew McCutcheon then picked it up and on to Jordy Mercer, to David Freese. David Freese made a couple of nice defensive plays there. That should not go unnoticed. But he retired Rizzo on the nice play. A throw from left field. Frazier picked that ball up off the grass and then had to make the tag of Contreras. Good strong throw from Mercer.
You know, I'll tell you, I'll be very honest. I'm not really happy with the sleeves that Contreras has.
You're not happy now with him?
No. I think you got to do something about him. He's got that one gray one, a white one.
Roller to the shortstop, Russell. And retires Harrison. And Polanco coming up, and this is the play. Wilson Contreras hits this ball toward the wall. See where this ball hits.
Almost overran it to a certain degree, and Gregory will probably tell you that he could have caught that ball.
It's good work from Mercer. Quick throw off to Frazier. To Freese, rather. Good job on the relay, but the Pirates trail 3-0. Clint Hurdle was asked about the struggling Polanco today. He says they think they've recognized some things. They helped out McCutchen. They think that they are figuring things out with Polanco. He's not really been barreling the ball. And then he was asked about maybe getting him out of that 3 spot. And he said, we discuss everything. And Jeff Branson looked like he was pretty emphatic. Message there to Polanco. I don't know if it was get that foot down or wait to get that pitch down. That could be also.
Pretty sure that he wanted that message delivered.
He said foot down. Almost painted on the inside corner. Foot down. Be in that hitting position, right, Steve? You hear that all the time. Be ready to hit.
They have their mechanics. I mean, there's variations for each hitter, but there are some basic fundamentals that they want everybody to adhere to.
'96, 3-2 on Polanco.
Right there.
There's a drive to right, a line shot, and oh, what a catch by Jason Hayward. 90% of the right fielders in this game play that off the grass.
Brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bucks!
Back here at PNC Park, and flight attendants from WOW Air.
Wow.
Yeah. The flights direct now to Iceland from Pittsburgh International Airport. It's the WOW Air.
My friends from Connecticut can't get direct from Hartford to Pitt.
Wow. Is that right?
Yeah. They came to visit and watch the Pirates play the Cubs. They had to fly to Chicago and then back. They waved as they went over Pittsburgh earlier this afternoon on their way to Chicago back to Pitt.
Tommy La Stella, 2-0, just came up today. Ben Zobrist placed on the disabled list. That wrist has been hurting Zobrist for about 3 weeks. pop-up behind home plate. LaStella, Butler, and Almora. Third baseman, pitcher, center fielder. 7, 8, 9 in the order. Good pitch there from Williams. Chris Bryant, the night off.
He actually brought the lineups up to home plate for the umpires. A little bizarre. Maybe we should have known after that.
2-2. And hit well toward left center field, and that's going to get down. Frazier, nice job of cutting it off, but LaStella is going to reach second with a stand-up double. Point Park University tweet from Wow Air. Hello Pittsburgh, we have arrived. Today, the day we celebrate our inaugural flight. How about that?
Welcome.
Pretty cool.
They're on tour, man.
Yeah. A chance to check out Permanis here at PNC Park.
Pretty neat looking uniforms.
Yeah. Here's the pitcher, Eddie Butler. Look like he's trying to bunt it toward first base. We've talked about the Pirates being more aggressive with their first baseman in these situations. Josh Bell well in. Could have a chance to get LaStella at third if it's bunted toward him. Freese has to hold his ground over at third. And now a couple of strikes on Butler. Career 038 hitter, 2 hits and 52 career at bats. So you would think the bunt is still on. Nope. Swinging away, unbelievable. Base hit. Wow.
What's next? What is next?
His third career hit in 53 at bats.
They put him in the 8th spot. Look how close Bell is to the pitcher's mound. Slaps it right where he wasn't.
With 2 strikes. His first hit since June of last year, June 2nd.
And now you go to what usually is a comfortable out position when you're pitching against a major league lineup, and you get Almora, 3 home runs, hitting .293.
Trevor Williams getting a little bit frustrated. He is not looking sharp. He was struggling with command in the first inning.
Last time out against Miami did not go well. 4 innings, 5 runs given up.
Even on Almora Jr. A little 3-game hitting streak going for him. 6 hits in his last 11 at bats. A pop up to shallow right. Big first out. Almora not able to bring home LaStella or move Butler for that matter, and will bring up Anthony Rizzo.
You know, Greg, you look at that top of the first inning. 2 of the 3 outs very unconventional. They were outs along the base paths. Just the one really kind of conventional out was the force at second base. The other 2 outs at third base. from the outfield. Out's tough to come by.
Anthony Rizzo had a towering fly ball over the foul pole. Initially called fair, a home run. And then the umpires went into a conference, called it foul. First base umpire Clint Fagan initially ruled it fair. Joe Madden came out, pleaded his case to at least check with New York. They did. It was very brief. And then the Cubs skipper was ejected by crew chief Jeff Kellogg. Rizzo's 16th home run of the season. We'll have to wait.
He's only struck out 33 times over almost 250 at bats. Trevor's got him 0-2. Try to get him to chase, but if you're downstairs, Cirelli's got to be alert. Nicely done.
Tied him up.
What a great pitch. That is 3 excellent pitches to Anthony Rizzo. He doesn't get treated like that very often. Very impressive. This is an unhittable location. Can't do anything that far in. And it's the second pitch, second consecutive pitch that he swung at that really unhittable pitches. The previous one down in the dirt.
Here's Ian Happ. Cuts at that high offering. Happ single to left field. His first time up. Switch hitter.
And you know, Williams had a chance to get out of the top of the first. He's got a chance to get out of a mess here, top of the second.
And a fly ball. Shallow left. Frazier. How about it? Stick around. This one is interesting to say the least. And we've only just begun. 3-0 Cubs. The Cubs lead it over the Pirates. The first game of this series. We're going to take a look at tonight's Barrel Automotive League leaders, and since it's Heritage Night, we look at the all-time leaders in Negro League championships. The Chicago American Giants, as we mentioned, they were formed from the Leland Giants. They ended up with 14 championships. The Homestead Grays here in Pittsburgh won 10, as did the Kansas City Monarchs. And with more, let's go down to Robbie.
Well, you were mentioning, Greg, the history of the Chicago Leland Giants. They were a team up until 1909. Of course, you mentioned just how they split. Frank Leland was the founder of the team. And in 1907, he brought in a pitcher named Rube Foster. Now, that is a name that might be recognizable to a lot of baseball fans who know the history of the game. Rube Foster is the guy who formed an organized league in 1920, and it was founded in a meeting at a YMCA in Kansas City. That league became known as the Negro National League. One of their teams, the Kansas City Monarchs, and the Monarchs would later have a guy named Jackie Robinson on their team, and the rest, as they say, is history. And by the way, speaking of the Chicago Leland Giants, in Chicago there's currently a baseball field named Leland Giants Park, I should say, named after the baseball team. It was renamed in 1998 and still stands to this day, not too far from Midway Airport. So there's a little bit of a history lesson behind the Chicago Leland Giants and why the Cubs are wearing their uniforms tonight.
Good stuff, Robbie. Thanks for that. 1 ball, 1 strike on David Freese. And we had an African American Heritage Luncheon, the annual luncheon today at the Hall of Fame Club. And really neat to see so many great leaders in the community, including Josh Gibson, the head of Sean Gibson, Josh's great grandson, the head of the Josh Gibson Foundation. And Harold Reynolds was the guest speaker from the MLB Network, the former Seattle Mariner. And he talked about meeting Buck Leonard many years ago. Oh, around the noggin there.
Yeah, almost met his maker. And out of there just in time.
Yeah. A message there, 3-1. And back to Butler. You mentioned Harold Reynolds. Threw at the first pitch. Did a nice job today speaking at the African American Heritage Luncheon, and Andrew McCutchen taking the ceremonial first pitch from Harold.
He's crafted quite a career for himself, hasn't he?
Really has.
Yep.
Really was there at the MLB Network on its inception. Clint Hurdle worked briefly at the MLB Network. Also on hand today was, by the way, Curtis Roberts Jr., whose dad was originally signed by the Boston Braves as an amateur free agent before the 1951 season, and the Pirates obtained him a year later. Branch Rickey became the Pirates general manager, and he brought him to the big leagues. Made his major league debut, played second base April 13th, 1954, opening day at Forbes Field, facing future Hall of Famer, the Phillies, Robin Roberts, and he tripled in his first at bat, the first black player in Pirates history. Curtis Roberts, 1954, played about 3 seasons, but his son was on hand today.
Let's see who replaced Roberts at second base.
Yes, I know. That's the truth. He struggled a bit as it goes, and was down in the minor leagues trying to get his swing right, and along came a guy named Maz.
Maz never looked back.
Yeah.
Another second baseman that came to the Pirates and played on the '60 World Championship team. Ball bounced up. Gene Baker. Remember coming over from the Cubs. He was a Cub. Gene Baker was Baker to Banks, the double play combination. One of the finest guys I've ever met, and I played for him in Batavia, New York in 1961. He took over for a manager by the name of Jim Adlam. I remember him to this day as being a real class man, knew the game. It was a pleasure. I'm so glad I crossed paths with Gene Baker.
Gene Baker would become a scout for the Pirates for a time as well, and that class describes Gene Baker, the late Gene Baker.
First manager in a major league organizational managerial position, 1961, from Davenport, Iowa. Baker to Banks, yeah, full play. Not Tinker to Evers to Chance. Baker to Banks.
Andrew McCutchen, 11 home runs on the year and 35 runs batted in. Six-game hitting streak for Andrew McCutchen. Bucks look for their first hit. Eddie Butler, 5 up and 5 down. From Radford University, Virginia.
They were called the Radford Redbeards. He would apply there, with that red beard going on.
Just a couple other big league players from that school. Phil Leftwich and Ryan Spire. Look out, Pirates dugout.
I don't know if I got it right with that triple name thing from the comes Tinker
to Evers to
Chance. Okay, there we go.
Frank Chance, Johnny Evers, Joe Tinker formed that famous double play combination back in the heyday of the Cubbies. That's the last time the Cubs won or had back-to-back years of 100+ wins. 1909, 1910. They're hopeful that they could maybe repeat and win 100 or more. They won 103 last year. At the very least, repeat as National League Central Division champs, and they still may do that, but much more difficult this season. They just tore it up last year. At this time, they were 45-20.
Yeah, they're lucky this year. They're in a weak division. The Cubs are lucky. I didn't think I'd be saying that.
Time called.
Nickname for Gene Baker, Goldie. I don't know what that represented, but that was his nickname on the 60 Pirates.
Two-out walk. Eddie Butler in the rotation. Brett Anderson on the disabled list, and Butler coming in with an ERA of 4.03.
By the way,
go ahead.
By the way, just to go back to that Tinker's Evers a Chance, the name of the poem where that came from, Baseball's Sad Lexicon. Lexicon. Yep.
Here's Francisco Cervelli. Paying attention to McCutchen. Oh boy.
Where's their video guy?
Well, I think they're going to challenge it. They're waiting to. Yep. That's where the video guy is.
Yeah. Okay.
This does not look promising for the Pirates.
Doubtful that this will take only 35 seconds, but it shouldn't take much more.
He's out. So the challenge and the call is overturned. And that'll be it. Pickoff 1-3. Through 2, it's 3-0 Cubs. Celebrate Father's Day on a Kids Day this Sunday. Pirates and Cubs 1:35. Get there early. #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone before the game on Federal Street. Kids and dads get a Pirates promo item, and after the game, kids and dads can run the bases thanks to the original pizza logs. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays for your tickets.
A couple of happy people. Fun at the ballpark.
Kyle Schwarber.
Greg, going back to the top of the second, I don't think one time last year the Cubs had runners in first and third with nobody out and didn't score.
Certainly not the time we saw them.
They were rolling. But Trevor Williams did a heck of a job. The whole ball game could have gotten away in the second inning. And who knows, with this kind of game, still could, but that was good work.
Yep. See if Williams could have a quicker inning here. He's facing the 3-4-5 men. Schwarber, Russell, and Hayward. Gave up a double and a single to start the second, and a little soft liner to Harrison. So there's the first out in this top of the third. And we'll bring up Russell. The Pirates and Cubs will meet in game 2 of this series tomorrow night. Keep in mind that's an 8:15 first pitch start. Ivan Nova for the Bucks against Jake Arrieta. Jordy Mercer bobbleheads will be given away to the first 20,000 fans thanks to Levin tomorrow night. And then on Sunday we mentioned the Father's Day. Kids 14 and under and dads will get military replica caps presented by Kennywood this coming Sunday. So get your tickets at pirates.com.
I can bet that the Cubs have seen a lot of that sort of thing we were just talking about that didn't happen last year. Getting set up and not scoring. That's been happening to them. Their batting average as a team is next to last.
That's what's remarkable, I think. And they are going to hit, and they're going to win some ball. I mean, everybody's talking about how there's the hangover, and yeah, that's true. They're off to a sluggish start. Don't kid yourself. This team is way too talented. Liner to center. 2 outs. Now, if you're going to win this division, you're still going to have to beat the Chicago Cubs.
Yep.
Jake Arrieta.
There's Jake right there.
More human-like these days. 6-4, 4.68 ERA. He goes tomorrow night against Ivan Nova. Chris Bryant with yesterday off. Baez also not playing tonight. Javier Baez.
There's a good chance we'll see some good pitching tomorrow night.
Good chance. Popped up. Shortstop. Mercer. Yeah, 20,000 bobbleheads given away of Jordy Mercer tomorrow night. Bucko shortstop makes the play. Quick 1, 2, 3. Shane Baz, Pirates' first-round pick, is going to join us next.
I've wanted to play professional baseball since I was 3 or 4 years old, and to have this dream come true, it means everything. I don't know if I can honestly say that I would have expected this. At this time last year, I had finished my junior year of high school. I was starting kind of the showcases, and I think I was one of the last guys on the list to those things. And I made my mind up that I was going to commit to every pitch.
That's Shane Baz. Pirates announced that they have signed their first-round pick from Tomball, Texas. And he has joined us here in the booth. And first pitch swinging, Francisco Cervelli with a fly ball to center. Albert Almora Jr., 1 pitch, 1 out. Bring up Jordy Mercer. Shane, congratulations. And an early happy birthday present, right?
Thanks so much.
Tomorrow you're 18.
I'm 18 tomorrow. Could not ask for a better 18th birthday. To be out here in Pittsburgh, I've already fallen in love with the city. Everybody here is awesome, and I could not ask for a better 18th birthday.
You've had quite a pace the last few days, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Whirlwind, is it a blur?
It's a bit of a blur. I'm trying to soak in everything I can. I've been through a lot of stuff, medical stuff, getting to meet everybody in the front office and the players and coaches. It's such a blast.
Getting a little lesson in media awareness.
Yeah,
interviews.
Yeah, a little
and all.
bit. Yeah, that's probably the first press conference I've ever done, and it was a lot of fun. Some tough questions, but I think I did all right.
I'm sure you did. This ball line to left. Nice catch by Kyle Schwarber. Quickly 2 out. Shane Baz, first-round pick of the Pirates.
What's your itinerary from here? I know you got here yesterday.
Yeah, from here on out, I got nothing to do. I'm staying until Sunday. I get all tomorrow to kind of see the city. Coming to the game at night, I might get to meet some of the players before the game, but get to really enjoy the city and kind of go on a little tour.
So they've taken you around the city, see the various things, and what's your first impression of the city of Pittsburgh?
Oh man, it reminds me of Houston, but people from Houston are going to hate for me to say this, but it's a lot more pleasing to the eyes with the rivers and the bridges, the downtown area. It really is beautiful. It really is.
And the view is not bad from the press box.
Oh my goodness, this is unbelievable.
Let me tell you one thing. The view is going to be even better when you're sitting down in that dugout.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you.
Or on the mound.
I think it'll be even better from the mound. Yeah.
That's right.
Man.
Shane Baz put up some unbelievable numbers at Concordia Lutheran, and out of play. We spoke on the air the other night, Shane, to your coach at Concordia Lutheran, your high school coach.
Yeah, Rick Lynch.
Yes, and talked about that's now 3 guys that have gone from Concordia, eventually drafted by the Pirates, including Ke'Bryan Hayes. Did you know Ke'Bryan?
Yeah, I knew Key. He's an unbelievable player. I'm sure I'll see him sometime soon, but he shot me a text whenever they called my name, just congratulations, like this is crazy, But yeah, Key's awesome, and what a weird coincidence, Starting to think there might be a little trend there.
It's wild.
It really is.
And so when do you anticipate, or have they told you when your first opportunity to actually pitch professionally will be?
I think it'll be sometime later next week. I'll be down in Bradenton Wednesday. I'll get situated a little bit and start my career, start from there.
Hey, do you have time for another half inning with us?
For sure.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely.
Shane Baz, the Pirates' first-round pick who was signed today. Talking about the views, beautiful shots of this city.
5 RAV 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
We're back, 3-0. The Cubs lead it going to the 4th inning. It'll be Wilson Contreras leading things off. Point Park Instagram from Shane Boz, who's in the booth with us right now, the Pirates' first-round pick. Headed to the Berg. So blessed to have this opportunity with an unbelievable organization. Thanks to everyone who helped me get here. And that Shane sent out, and we were just talking. We're going to get your, what's your Twitter handle?
Twitter handle and Instagram are at the Wizard of Boz.
Oh, I like it. At the Wizard of Boz.
A headline in the making.
I love it.
That is great. B-O-Z.
B-A-Z.
Okay.
Yeah,
so when you go to Instagram or the Twitter, it's at the Wizard of Boz with B-A-Z.
That's it.
And we're gonna pump that up tonight. So you're watching right now. Do us a favor. Get hooked up right now on Twitter. Go to the Wizard, at the Wizard of Boz, B-A-Z, and we're going to get his followers up to about 5,000. He's about 2,500 right now. And here's some action of Shane Boz.
What about the haircut?
Man, the hair had to go. You know, I cut it for high school this year, and then I cut it again, but I'm thinking it's time to bring it back.
Oh, really?
It added a little flavor to my game, and I'm going to have to stick with it.
Steve, what do you think of that?
I'm going to do the same thing.
All right,
I'm
there
do
we
the
go.
same
We will see who can grow out their hair the fastest.
Okay, yeah. I'll pay right now. Tell us about your stuff.
I throw a fastball, slider.
A 4-seam, 2-seam?
4-seam and a 2-seam.
Okay,
I throw a slider, curveball, and
Oh, what a play! Adam Frazier, what a catch!
Wow.
Spectacular grab off the bat of Wilson Contreras.
See, that's what'll happen when you won't see everybody make that play. How would you feel on the mound when you saw that?
Man, talk about owing a mistake dinner.
That's right.
Look at this play by Frazier.
Yeah, and doesn't have much height either. It didn't have a lot of time. He had to get back there, time it just right, and goes up. Yeah. Oh, boy, does every pitcher love to see that play.
My goodness.
That's great.
Contreras reacts yet, and a salute.
Tip of the cap.
Why not?
Yeah, that's professional right there. That's big league stuff.
Man, Tommy La Stella now. Contreras robbed of extra bases by Frazier.
We should all have a Stella right now in honor of that.
I'm only 17. I can't.
Hey, come on.
Hey, some states, but you're in Pennsylvania. You gotta get there.
Let's see how everybody in the booth reacted to this.
Pitchers love it.
Look at Steve.
Big circle around that one.
Great catch, Adam Frazier. Did you get a chance to see anybody aside from front office personnel, some of the players at all yet?
I got to meet Kutch. I got to meet Bell. I got to meet David Freese. Yeah, I got to meet those 3 guys. And I saw Cervelli, but he looked like he was in a hurry. And he's pretty big, so I wasn't going to get in his way.
That's right. You always respect your catchers.
Absolutely. They make you or break you.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Now, tell us about the phone call and what you were expecting when you, or I guess when you were watching. And a strikeout, the off-speed pitch. La Stella goes down. When you heard, I guess, as the Pirates, number 12 in the first round, were about to select, you must have known it was going to be the Pirates.
I did. You know, when the Angels were picking at 10, I got the phone call. Phone rang. I actually called my dad, and he gave me the phone. He said, "This is Wayne Mathis, the area guy," and he said, "We'd like to take you," and they told me kind of the incentives of it, and it was more than I could have asked for, and it was something that I was hoping for, and I was hoping for the Pirates because I think that was about maybe as high as I'd go, and they honored what I wanted, and I honored the kind of situation I put out there, and they honored it, and so here I am, and no regrets. This is an unbelievable organization. Everyone's been so nice so far, and it's been really like a dream.
It really a bit of surprise that you signed as quickly as you did, because word was that you were really committed to TCU, and a lot of people wondered if the Pirates and you would come to terms. So that's a big deal, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, once we figured out kind of what the plan was. I wanted to get up here as quick as I can to get it done, and they were really excited about it too. So that was awesome.
That had to feel good. You didn't have to negotiate a lot.
It was.
Hey, Shane, congratulations, man.
Thanks so much.
Really cool.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Signed today. There he is with General Manager Neil Huntington, and we're in the black and gold. Shane Baz at the Wizard of Baz. At this ballpark for the Pirates Summer Six-Pack presented by Papa John's. Select any 6 games you want, get a 7th bonus game plus a free pizza from Papa John's. Packages start as low as $126. Go to pirates.com/summer and get yours today. The Summer Six-Pack from Papa John's. Things have settled down considerably. We saw Trevor Williams have a quick 1-2-3 top of the 4th. Again, our thanks to Shane Baz.
Very impressive young man.
Yep. Great to see him in the organization. He is thrilled. He was just beaming at this view that you're looking at right now. That's what he was watching much of the time. He was with us. And, great to have him in the organization as Adam Frazier takes a strike. Great start so far for Eddie Butler.
Great catch by Adam Frazier in left. Don't they always lead off the next inning?
Always.
Yeah.
Fly ball to Hayward.
Yeah, and talking about Eddie Butler, talking to the Cubs folks, Jim Deshaies and Len Casper over there, that he was very impressive against the Cardinals his first start. 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits and no runs against the Cardinals when they brought him up from the minor leagues. Started the year in the minors.
His 3rd career appearance and 2nd start against the Pirates. The Cubs acquired Eddie Butler from the Rockies in February. And you look at his career numbers with the Colorado Rockies, not terribly impressive. 36 appearances, 28 starts, a .650 ERA, 6-16. And a ground ball up the middle, and there is your first Pirate hit. Jay Hay singles with 1 away. Gregory Polanco is lined out to right field his first time up, and take a look at tonight's Napa know-how. Gregory Polanco.
Yeah, let's talk about, see that front foot, and he didn't have it down, and Jeff Branson, front foot down, get it down, get that front foot down. And I'm taking a stab at this, but it seems a lot about balance. You don't want to have that foot up in the air, and Jeff Branson was very emphatic, and Now, you never know if it's coincidence, but a real good at bat following that solid contact by Gregory Polanco. So we hope that the messages get conveyed like that from Jeff Branson, and Gregory Polanco follows that know-how.
Look out. Wilson Contreras tries to pick off another runner, but throws it past Rizzo, so Harrison will wind up at second on the error.
And no surprise that Contreras does that, because he has 8 catchers pickoffs. He is the best in the major leagues at that, but he gets burned on that attempt. The delivery behind the batter, I don't know if he had a visual issue or that, or just short hopped him. And you know, when you're that good at doing that particular play, that's frustrating, but puts the Pirates in business. You'd love to see them get on the board. As you mentioned, Trevor Williams has really settled down after a chaotic first inning. Butler has given up a couple home runs. You get Gregory Polanco hot to join Mercer and McCutchen, Harrison. You're starting to form a foundation.
Well, hopefully that line out, the fact he got that foot down, will be a good start. Had to feel good that he hit that ball as hard as he did. There's a drive deep to right field. It is foul. Very similar to the Rizzo drive to start this ball game.
And that's the kind of power he has. Yep, it's a similar shot. That uppercut swing, got a lot of it. Just a little touch out in front.
It's interesting because Clint Hurdle's going to ask again. Let's get together and see if we can't discuss this. It's his call, right? He says to the home plate umpire, Will Little, that's his call. Now he'll ask Fagan. And why not? They did review it for Joe Madden. Why wouldn't they review it for the Pirates? And they will. So they'll get on the headsets with New York. This is just an umpire crew chief review, not a challenge. There didn't seem to be much of an argument initially by Polanco. There's no dispute.
And that's who looks first. You want those long balls. You want those on the board. You can see the smile. Didn't take long.
Yep. Foul ball.
There we go. By the way, yeah, we'll take a look at it again. There's buildings across the river in the background. And another big smile.
Great reaction. Anthony Rizzo. That's going back to his home run.
Yeah, if you can read lips.
Yeah. Well, promising couple of swings here from Polanco since Jeff Branson said get that foot down. That line drive, he was robbed of a hit by Hayward and came oh so close to cracking his 4th home run of the season.
Still time to do it. Went to the glove, but just missed a little bit inside.
How often do you hear hitters and pitchers say it could take one pitch, one swing for a pitcher could be one pitch?
All of a sudden it feels right.
Gets you in sync.
And that's how close, that's how thin the line is between being hot and being not.
Hard hit, but at the second baseman, Happ. Well, out number 2. And again, looking for some positives out of Polanco. Bring up David Freese. T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. Major League Baseball news, Miguel Cabrera was 2 for 5 with a walk-off home run last night against the Rays. Victor Martinez placed on the 10-day disabled list with an irregular heartbeat. Hospitalized last night due to dizziness and accelerated heartbeat. There's David Freese. We also saw that the Mets, speaking of injuries, When will that end? Terry Collins has to keep wondering what else am I going to get? Matt Harvey, DL'd, Neil Walker, roller left side. A little tippy toe action for Rizzo, gets freeze. The Pirates strand a man. 3-0 through 4. Awesome shots from our Allegheny Health Network Supermo to the sounds of our featured band tonight on Friday Night Rocks, Good Brother Earl, Fighting Gravity. 3-0 Cubs. Heading to the 5th. Albert Almora fly to right in the 2nd.
Ready?
Cotton candy there. They'll get the best of that cotton candy pretty soon.
Moore came to the plate with runners at first and third in the 2nd and no one out and popped up the shallow right.
We saw that young lady before. Still looking great.
Yep.
Great outfit.
Yep.
Look at the headset. I'm a young brother.
That's great. 3-2 now on Almora. Tapper, Williams.
That's it. That's it. Don't make it complicated and try to throw it to first
Go back
base.
to those Dodger days. His first start this season. Let's go back to the studios. Dan Potash in the game break. All right, Dan, thanks. The Brewers started the day 2.5 up on the Cubs in the Central. Cardinals 4.5 back. The Pirates trailing by 5. They will be in Milwaukee next week after this homestand, which will conclude on Sunday afternoon. Again, tomorrow night, 8:15 against these Cubs. Sunday afternoon, 1:35. The Kids Sunday. Tomorrow night, the first 20,000 fans See the Jordy Mercer bobbleheads. Father's Day special on Sunday. Ball one on Anthony Rizzo. Trevor Williams, very close relationship with his dad, of course. 1 ball and 1 strike. You no doubt saw the touching and moving video of Williams greeting his dad, Richard, after his first big league win last year. One and 2.
Trevor was nice enough to go come out and be part of the 65 Roses reception the other night. We do appreciate his presence here.
And the shift on. There's Mercer. 2 outs. 11 in a row now retired by Trevor Williams since the base hit by the pitcher Eddie Butler in the 2nd. And he will face Ian Happ. Happ hit one off the very end of the bat for a base hit in the 1st. That's when the Cubs scored their 3. Happ, Russell, and Hayward ended up scoring. Happ on a wild pitch, the other 2 on a Contreras double. Ian Happ was born in Cleveland, but his family came to the Pittsburgh area when he was a youngster. His mom taught at Pitt. And he went to, he said, a couple dozen games here at PNC Park. This is his first time back since actually being in the stands watching the Pirates. He said, I would sit out there beyond the left field foul pole, and $9 seats, could sit anywhere you wanted to, because back then Pirates weren't playing so well. And Josh Bell handles that, and 1-2-3. Trevor Williams on a roll. Pirates offense needs to get going heading to the bottom of the 5th.
There's Ian Happ, who grew up and went to high school at Mount Lebanon. Earlier today, he reflected on the meaning it has to play his first ever game here at PNC Park.
This is awesome. This is awesome to be here. It's awesome to be back in the city. Awesome to walk across the bridge to see the stadium, to be out here, and just memories of different places I've sat in the stadium, different games I've watched, and all the players that I've watched come through here. It's really, really, really special.
And Ian Happ has never played here at all. Not at all during his high school career. Played at the University of Cincinnati, where he played his college ball. So this is the first time. He did say his older brother did play a game here, so he was able to watch him. But when he was referencing some quote-unquote old school Pirates, Greg and Steve, he was talking about Lastings Milledge, Niger Morgan, and Brian Giles. Those are the guys he grew up watching, to show how old we are and how young Ian Happ is as a big leaguer.
How about that? Lastings Milledge. That goes back. Famous name in Pirate history.
Perhaps just 22 years old. Asked about whether he thought about playing football, and always said, nope, always baseball my favorite sport. He said, you know, and I also looked up to Neil Walker. He said, the local guy that was a first-round pick of the Pirates. But he is very, very confident young man, mature beyond his years, and nothing seems to faze him. He really matured after his freshman year at the University of Cincinnati when he went and played the Cape Cod League. Bunch of elite college players. Ball hit toward left center field. Well, and gone! Oh my goodness! Over the 410 sign, a line drive again. Josh Bell shows that power the other way. Bucks on the board. It's 3-1.
Oh, that might have been similar to a Josh Gibson home run. What about the carry that his balls have to the opposite field? They don't quit. They just keep sailing.
Number 12 for Josh Bell. You just don't see that. A left-handed hitter hit a line drive over that 410 sign is incredible.
That is strength. That is strength.
And it looks so effortless. That is a long way for a right-handed hitter, let alone a guy from the left side. Just unbelievable.
You think it's going to start quitting a little bit, and it just keeps on carrying. The finish on his drives.
Now, all of a sudden, that might have shaken Eddie Butler.
Should. I mean, it's right there. It's right there for the taking, and he took it. He took it on out of here.
Look at this.
Right over the notch.
Was that pretty?
Yeah, it is. A little message to the bullpen right there. They can see it. And so you look at that home run and you think also how Trevor Williams has recovered after that first inning. The Pittsburgh Pirates, it looked crazy, but they're right there now.
Fly ball to shallow right. McCutchen flies out to right. Josh Bell's 12th of the year. And another look, different angle. Line drive. It looked as though Almora was pulling up and figured I'd either play it off the padding or it might short hop or it might bounce onto the track and get out, but it just sneaks out.
I thought the same thing. I thought we had a short hop to the wall because it was fading away. It was running away from Almora, so you knew you had action, but wow.
That's the man that ended up with the home run ball. He's got it there in his right hand. He's checking his Twitter feed. Josh Bell makes it a 3-1 game. Josh Bell now is just 3 home runs away from matching the all-time rookie mark by a Pirate for most home runs by the All-Star break. Ralph Kiner had 15 in 1946. Now Bell with a dozen.
How about that company?
Ball and a strike on Cervelli. Down a pair to Eddie Butler and the Cubs. Bell gets the Bucks on the board. Wade LeBlanc. And the Pirates bullpen. Bucks wearing the Homestead Grays uniforms. Should be one of the great Negro League teams of all time. Trevor Williams, maybe he bats. Three and one. The off day helps Clint Hurdle with his decision-making process. Bullpen rested enough. Tom Prince, bench coach, checking in with The Pirates bullpen. See if he's ready. Still 3-2. Cervelli returned to the starting lineup and was 1 for 3 and was hit by a pitch on Wednesday against the Rockies. For the time being, the Pirates will go with 3 catchers at least through the weekend and see how they make out. Elias Diaz, Jacob Stallings, and here's Chris Stewart in the middle, still on the disabled list.
Not a lot of personnel off the bench.
And ball 4. Second walk for Eddie Butler. Steve was talking about Josh Bell's swing and maybe a little Josh Gibson-like. Our AARP is getting to know Josh Gibson. 16 seasons in the Negro Leagues with the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords. 510 career games, 115 homers, 359 average, was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1972. The second Negro League player to be inducted. Satchel Paige was the first. Josh Gibson, the Black Babe Ruth, they called him.
And people might argue the other way that Babe Ruth was the white Josh Gibson.
Jordy Mercer. Nice play by Kyle Schwarber on his line drive in the third. Jordy Mercer bobbleheads tomorrow. The first 20,000 fans will get a Jordy Mercer bobblehead. 8:15 first pitch.
He's been on a tear.
Cervelli the walk. Talking with Anthony Rizzo. John Jaso comes out on deck if Mercer were to reach. Butler picked off one Pirate runner. That was Andrew McCutchen. That ended the second inning. Jaso.
Jordy Mercer, that little tap to adjust a necklace that he has. It's not a nervous habit. It's just something he does just about before every pitch. He'll adjust the neck wear. Now watch, this time he won't do it. Oh, or will he? There it is. Okay. All right. You're set.
And a fly ball to Hayward. John Jaso will bat. For Trevor Williams,
who did a good job keeping it together. This thing could have got way out of hand, not only in the first inning, but the second inning. Runners on first and third, nobody out, and left those runners there to keep it at just 3 for the Cubs.
He retired the last 12 straight Cubs batters. Trevor Williams, his 8th start of the season. Jaso. 6 out of 15 as a pinch hitter this season. A 400 average off the bench.
That's incredible. Incredibly good. Those numbers don't sound big, but they're big.
That's a high fly ball to center field. Almora. Final out, but this bottom of the 5th began with that man's home run. Josh Bell, a switch hitter from the left side. A bell ringer, his 12th. Gets the Bucks on the board. It's 3-1. on the disabled list, left wrist injury on the 10-day DL this season, hitting .223, but since he hurt that wrist during a swing May 26th, batting only .102 since the injury, so he's on the DL, and Tommy La Stella called up today to replace Zobrist on the roster. Cubs scored 3 first-inning runs off Trevor Williams. A couple of walks in that first inning. Wilson Contreras had a 2-run double, but no question Williams settled down, retiring the last 12 batters he faced. Shut the door on the Cubs when they had runners at first and third and no one out in the second. They did not score. So the Pirates within 2, and Wade LeBlanc takes over the 6th.
So Trevor Williams overall, the 5 innings, the 3 runs, 4 hits, a couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. Mr. Bell gets the Bucks on the board. I would guess that Ray Sears is very proud of Trevor Williams tonight. Wade LeBlanc, a little bit of a struggle recently. He's been scored on his last, 4 or 5 appearances, four appearances. But overall, I think he gets very good marks for the work he's done, the job he's done this year.
Does not get a call there. Kyle Schwarber.
Nice looking breaking ball that he should get, as you see. The evidence supports that. There, pretty much the same neighborhood.
24-year-old from Middletown, Ohio, Kyle Schwarber against the veteran Wade LeBlanc. Former starter, doing work out of the Pirates bullpen. He falls behind. Schwarber 3-1. Schwarber, Russell Hayward for the Cubs. Former first-round pick, Schwarber of the Cubs out of the University of Indiana, and Russell drafted by the Oakland Athletics in the first round. Past the mound, freeze over by the shortstop position, gets Schwarber. Sent along a happy birthday wish. I'm sure he's watching back at his home in the Phoenix area. One of the class acts, former Bucko Kevin Young, who's with the organization, working a lot of the first basemen, and is an assistant to the general manager. Kevin Young spent 11 of his 12 years with the Pirates, and he was as good as it gets defensively, and he's helped Josh Bell get a lot better. And as Kevin Young has said, it's mainly the hard work that Bell has been putting into it. And he also credits, Kevin Young does, Joey Cora for doing some great work with Josh Bell. Joey Cora, Pirates third base coach and infield instructor. Congratulations shout out to Lindsay and Brian Graham. Daughter Peyton was delivered last night at 11:59 p.m. It's a relation to Tyler Graham, I imagine, Steve.
Yeah,
Associate Director.
Just barely before the midnight hour.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
More colors from Pittsburgh. Beautiful colors.
Down on strikes.
And that's a beautiful thing.
2 up and 2 down. We'll bring up Jason Hayward, who is 0 for 1 plus a walk. Josh Bell dozen home runs now for the rookie, doing some good work and maybe deserving of your vote. Vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote Pirates for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at pirates.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 88th Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Miami, presented by MasterCard. It's July 11th, live on Fox.
Pirates been bringing in the old crafty left-hander quite a bit this season. He's done quite a nice job.
Look out, that, oh man, the barrel goes sailing past, and first base umpire Clint Fagan able to duck out of the way just in time and still concentrate on the play at first base. 1, 2, 3, go the Cubs. Oh man. Day Automotive this day in Negro League history. Tonight we're going to take a look at the Homestead Grays' success back in their day. The Homestead Grays formed as a team in 1910 by Cumberland Posey. 9 consecutive Negro League National League pennants from 1939 to 1945. They played most of their home games at Forbes Field and Greenlee Field. Later in 1940, they would start playing half their games in Washington, D.C. We've talked often about some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Josh Gibson and Cool Papa Bell, Satchel Paige, Judy Johnson. Homestead Grays. Pirates paying tribute. These Grays unis.
And the Pirates have done a wonderful job out at that Legacy Square.
Yeah, nice,
between the administration building and the actual ballpark. Very nice, classy job of honoring both the Grays and the Crawfords. Was it just the Grays out there, or is it
both?
Yeah. The Crawfords very much a part of that whole story. Crawford Grill.
Towards shallow left. Oh, lost in the lights by Schwarber. Schwarber had a beat on it and just lost the ball in the lights. So Frazier and the Pirates get a leadoff break.
They'll take it. Down 2 runs, leadoff man on. See if we can find out just when he lost it. Here he comes into your screen. And you can see the hand up in front of the face. Yep, that tells the whole story. Just had the wrong angle for him, the right angle for the Pirates. Almaro doing a good job being over there to back up. Frazier would still be running.
In the air to right by Jay Hay. Line drive caught by Hayward. One out. It'll bring up Gregory Polanco. Harrison 1 for 3 tonight. Big at bat here for Polanco. The Pirates down 2. And though he is 0 for 2, hit the line drive. Jason Hayward made a fabulous catch on him coming in. I don't know that anybody comes in on a ball better than Jason Hayward.
Now keep your foot down.
Yeah. And then a hard ground ball to second just moments after he nearly homered. Towering fly ball toward the right field foul pole. So close that the umpires reviewed it. It's popped up. That's going to be out of play.
Yeah, and sometimes you were talking about things can change on a pitch or an at bat, and sometimes before you start getting the success, you start stinging the ball. So you hit the ball hard both times. So in Jeff Branson's book, that was good. You hit the ball as hard as you can, and then the rest of it takes care of itself, whether it's caught or it's not caught. How about that expression in baseball? Put your foot down.
Yeah. and Branson did it again just now.
Yep. They want it away, and away it goes. That delivery.
A lot invested in that man, Jeff Branson. Each of his players, his pupils. And a pop up.
He has had that uppercut swing.
Yep.
Good bit lately.
Second out, it'll bring up David Freese. Pedro Strop is ready. Butler 84 pitches.
I think Dave Martinez and Joe Madden inside would be delighted with what they've gotten from Eddie Butler tonight. He's been very good.
His first start, he went 6 innings, but has not reached that mark since that start in St. Louis. 3 innings his following outing, then 5 against the Giants, just 4 1/3 against the Padres. 5 2/3 pitching into the 6th inning against Miami. And last time out, the 5 innings against Colorado. His former club, where at Coors Field, yeah, the Coors Field effect, his home ERA as a member of the Rockies, parts of 3 seasons, 90 innings of work, an ERA of 7.92 in Denver. On the road, 69 innings of work away from Coors Field before this season. His ERA was 5.70.
And I would think should he get one more out here that that might complete his evening.
I think no doubt, right? Because he's due up 3rd next inning. He knows it. He's looking for that one final out. He doesn't get Freese. He also knows he's probably done regardless with the pitcher in the bullpen, Strop, ready.
And then it's Arrieta and Lackey for the Cubs. 2 final games of the series.
Tomorrow night, 8:15, then Sunday afternoon, Ivan Nova, Jameson Taillon for the Pirates. Josh Bell hit the home run, leading off the 5th. Now it goes to 3-1 on Freese, who bounced back to the mound in the 2nd inning and grounded out to third baseman Tommy La Stella in the 4th. Butler has walked McCutchen and Cervelli. Just 2 walks. He walks a 3rd, and that is probably the end of his night. Josh Bell coming to the plate slowly as he expects a change. Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, is he going to make the change for Dave Martinez, since Joe Madden has been ejected. No signal yet.
Fazio's been the pitching coach here, what, 6 or 7 years now? And
stick with him.
Show his faith in him.
Oh. Well, again, Josh Bell led off last inning with this home run liner over the left center field fence. His 12th. The only run, one of just 3 hits against Eddie Butler. Interesting decision here by the Cubs. Bell flied to right his first time up. And a strike.
With the 1 run, 1 swing of the bat has put the Pirates on the board. Just 3 hits, so a little bit surprising, but Butler has been quite good.
Close. 1 ball, 1 strike. His first 2 starts with the Cubs, 94 pitches and 92 pitches.
He's in the neighborhood of those.
Foul ball. Has not gotten close to this pitch count since his first 2 starts. He's excellent down at AAA Iowa for the I-Cubs in 5 starts, a 1.17 ERA. One and 2 on Bell. Frazier and freeze the runners. Down a pair. Making pitch 2 and 2. Steve, does a pitching coach go out ever and say, all right, we're keeping you in here, yet this 1 man left? So he knows, you know, nothing on the line. You just get this guy. Drive to right field. Line drive and off the top of the fence and gets away from Hayward. This game is tied. Bell's going to head to third. This game is tied because Josh Bell has driven in all 3 runs. Rips it off the wall and right. 3-3 for Bell.
Got a great bounce back toward the infield to allow David Freese to get all the way around. And of course, with 2 outs, he's off with contact, but that ball was blistered. All it lacked was height.
A 2-run triple. So the Cubs decide to stay with Butler. And Bell makes Butler pay. He knew right away it was at least extra bases. For a second, he thought maybe that tied it or gave them the lead.
It almost got, and that ball was delivered in the part of the strike zone was Fat City. And then the Pirates get the big bounce back past Hayward.
How close he came to his 2nd home run. That close, but good enough for a game-tying triple for Josh Bell. Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. At third base with his second triple of the season. He's driven in all three. And now it's Andrew McCutchen facing Pedro Strop with Bell at third in a 3-3 game. A late strike called by Will Little.
And technically inaccurate, but Strop gets the call.
McCutchen 2 for 13 in his career against Strop. That's a 154 average. Both hits home runs.
Similar location, the count evens out. 26 strikeouts and 22 plus innings for Pedro Strop.
Josh Bell with his 3 ribbies tonight, now 30 RBIs, second on the club behind the man at the plate, Andrew McCutchen, with 35. Two and two.
Working the top of the strike zone. The man of the hour so far, the man of the evening, Josh Bell.
Chopper going to be a tough play, and Andrew McCutchen has an infield single to give the Pirates the lead. 4-3.
Wouldn't you believe it would be unconventional on an evening that started on such a bizarre note? A little chopper. Andrew didn't get much of it, and it wound up being a good thing that he didn't get much of it. Coming in all the way, and Andrew gets the business done at first base. He knows he's got a shot. He knows he's got a chance.
Tommy La Stella, the bare hand try. Andrew McCutchen, his 36th RBI. All right, we'll take it.
Wasn't pretty, but it worked.
Now Cervelli. And so it closes the book on Eddie Butler, who did such a great job. But he ends up giving up 4. It takes Trevor Williams off the hook. This inning does. Butler now on the hook. Francisco Cervelli has flied out and walked. And a 1-1 count.
Daniel Hudson.
Little tapper. Strop gets Cervelli. So the man named Josh. Of course, Gibson wore the Homestead Grays uniform. The Hall of Famer Josh Bell, the rookie. The big night tonight.
PittsburghTires.com and never overpay for tires again. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
What a night for Josh Bell. Pirates rookie. The home run that got them on the board in the 5th. And the 2-run triple off the wall to tie it. He scored on the infield hit by McCutchen. And now the Pirates bullpen takes over, needing 9 outs.
Daniel Hudson coming on. His numbers overall, but recently he has been much better. And the Pirate pitching has retired the last, what, 15?
Mm-hmm.
It's a struggling Cubs offense. It really is. It's a struggling Cubs offense. They actually ran into 2 outs in the 1st inning.
Wilson Contreras, 2-run double in the 1st and then thrown out, trying to stretch it into a triple. Great catch made by Adam Frazier in the 4th off of Contreras.
Pirates defense said, "Au contraire."
Very, very important. Needless to say how important it is for Hudson to throw strikes. It has been a while since Hudson has been in one of these higher pressure situations, and now it is ball 3. The Pirates had him out of late inning roles for quite a while to try and get him straightened out, and they felt he's gotten to the point where they can give him more responsibility, this veteran righty.
Not so fast, my friend. Yeah, one miss and
yeah, really
3 pretty good
didn't
locations.
get calls there. 3-1 on Contreras. And that was not close. Starts this 7th inning with a walk. Now faces Tommy La Stella.
Very quickly, very, very quickly we get action.
Not only action, but Felipe Rivero in the 7th. Glenn Riddle sticking to his word that he might use Rivero earlier and then go to Nicasio for the save in the 9th.
That 1-run ball game, sometimes you gotta, if you're dealing with a fire you have to put out to maintain the lead. You get the outs you need right now to keep things in order.
He had gone to Nicasio to get outs previously in the 7th and the 8th, and then to Rivero in the 8th and 9th since they reworked this bullpen. Tony Watson taken out of the closer's role, and now he goes to Rivero. At least has him loosening up here in this 7th inning. There's Nicasio.
I don't think you warm Rivero up very often unless you have some serious plans of using him.
One and 2 on Tommy La Stella.
That pitch did not miss by much. We could have gotten a call like Strop did, but we didn't. See that number 3 pitch? Close.
Tapper off the side of the mound. Mercer gets the out. That had a chance to go all kinds of ways, didn't it? Hudson maybe gets involved.
Yeah.
The ball hits off the side of the mound, changes direction. Now runner in scoring position with 1 out. Chris Bryant is going to pinch hit for Strop and take another look at this Tapper.
just off the back of the mound and stays straight enough where Jordy can do it. That's all they had available. Okay, here's your matchup. He wanted to give the Cubs/Giants the lead back.
See, the highest career OPS against the Pirates since 1913. Chris Bryant behind only Barry Bonds. Feasting on Pirates pitching is Chris Bryant. National League MVP last year. Rookie of the Year in 2015. One ball and one strike. Bryant with 13 homers over his last 41 games. And back to the end of April. Backhand pick by Cervelli.
Huge with one out. Not letting that runner get over to third base where he can score in a sacrifice fly. Nicely done.
Game in the balance here in the 7th inning. Oh,
thank you for the chase. Although he chased a pitch that was just perfect. It wasn't, it looked like it was way off the plate or the strike zone, but this ball is right on the corner as it goes by home plate. By the time it gets to Cervelli, it doesn't look quite as good as it was. That was a dandy.
oh, Daniel Hudson comes up big, striking out the pinch hitter Chris Bryant for the 2nd out of the 7th inning.
How about that? 2 perfectas, breaking ball away and then looked like a moving fastball down and in. How about that? Away and then way in. Got him to swing at it. You can see the motion, the tailing fastball. What a great pitch. What a great sequence. That's a 1-2 punch right there. How can he finish it off?
Justin Grimm. One ball, one strike, the count. Contreras still at second. Daniel Hudson walked him to start the inning, then got La Stella to bounce out. The strikeout of Chris Bryant. Almora has flied out and grounded out.
Boy, that's 2 pitches that I think Daniel Hudson would like to get back. Both of those right in that go zone, and he got away with both of them. That's hold your breath delivery right there. Out over the plate, and the previous one was even juicier.
Pulled foul. First pitch, fastball missed the zone. A couple of sliders from Hudson to Almora, and now Cervelli wants to discuss how they want to attack him at this point.
Maybe just going on. Hey, let's stay out of the middle of the strike zone here.
That last pitch, a changeup that was pulled foul. And you get him to chase upstairs with a fastball.
He's got the advantage in the count.
Oh, swing and a miss, and the strikeout. Daniel Hudson strikes out Bryant and Almora. 4-3 Pirates.
Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Daniel Hudson gets out of it. What a bunch of great pitches we just saw to Chris Bryant and Albert Almora Jr. Keep calm. Easy for you to say. And he was calm after the walk to Contreras, the ground out, and striking out the pinch hitter Chris Bryant and Albert Almora Jr. to end that threat. Now changes. Ian Happ moves from second base to center field. Chris Bryant stays in the game. He's now at third base. Tommy La Stella goes from third to second. And a new pitcher, Justin Grimm.
And that last breaking ball from Daniel Hudson was just spectacular. After getting away with a couple pitches up in the hitting zone, he just came back huge. Big time work. Big time work.
Fair ball. Jordy Mercer will be retired. A little high toss there from Contreras. Go back, Steve, to this slider and change up, kind of similar speeds, but
yeah, that works.
deception.
Yeah, it's separation from the fastball.
This is Chris Bryant. Fastball slider.
And then that's change up, down and in with the movement. You got him to swing at a pitch that was way off the middle part of the plate. Great, great work.
Now Elias Diaz pinch hitting for Hudson. Diaz hitting .326 in 17 major league games this season.
What a job he has done. Not kind of under the radar, but there are other hot bats that probably got more attention, but rock solid. Justin Grimm coming on to work here in the bottom of the seventh. Pirates up 1. 5.06 ERA, 6 home runs out of the bullpen. You know, I wasn't looking at the pitch speed from that final delivery to Bryant. I thought it was just a kind of two-seam fastball, but change up had Bryant fooled and out in front.
Felipe Rivero might be asked to get 6 outs. We'll see. We know he'll be pitching the top of the 8th. A newly constructed Pirates bullpen. Boy, this would be such a big win for this team.
I was just thinking that. Got work to do, but the Pirates have put themselves in a position to do something pretty special.
Yep.
But they've got to earn it.
That man providing the thump, the home run, and then the 2-run triple. Diaz, fly ball, Happ. 2 outs.
You test him right away. Center.
Diaz flies out. It'll bring up Adam Frazier. It'll be the top of the batting order for the Cubs in the 8th. Rizzo, Happ, and Schwarber. Frazier, that was a big play. Remember the fly ball that Schwarber lost in the lights? That was the base hit that started the 6th, and then Eddie Butler got the next 2 outs but walked David Freese. And the Josh Bell triple followed. The Cubs decided to stay with Eddie Butler for 1 more batter.
Bosio came out and talked to him
rather than go to Strope.
Conference. Frazier did get it started. Also made a real nice catch in left field tonight. Really, really nice catch.
That was large, as you like to say. Grande.
You get those grandes at the drive-thru, right?
Sure. You don't want to go up to the counter. 3-1. The Brewers and Padres are tied at 4, by the way, after 4 innings in Milwaukee. Josh Harrison on deck. Cardinals have a 10-1 lead at Baltimore. Interleague play. Did he go? Jeff Kellogg says yes. Alan Frazier doesn't think so. 1, 2, 3. Felipe Rivero coming on for the 8th. Bucks up by 1.
Is in the calm from the fall, so fight another day and try to sweat your dreams away. Go shining like the light. It's a Friday night and summer night.
You didn't believe us when we told you Friday night rocks.
It rocks.
It rocks.
Good brother Earl and a good ball game. A featured band tonight on Friday Night Rocks. 4-3 Pirates lead to the 8th. There's Josh Bell. The Pirates were trailing 3-0 after the Cubs scored 3 times in the first off Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams really settled down. Retired the last 12 in a row. Bell with the home run in the 5th. Pirates scored 3 in the 6th and now lead it. And here is Felipe Rivero. How many outs is he going to be asked to get? We'll have to find out.
Bringing that big arm with him. You know, you take a look at Josh Bell and those swings. Doesn't he look like a ball player?
He does.
I mean, he's put together like a ball player.
100 miles per hour to start.
He looks like a pitcher too.
Yeah.
That arm looks big. And then the breaking ball. I mean, he's got the power, and then he's got something else in the back pocket. He's got a couple different breaking balls and a changeup.
I'd love to know, Steve, if Clint Hurdle and Ray Searage are saying, all right, it's a certain amount of pitches. If he gets 3 outs and within 15, we'll let him start the 9th. Wow.
No contest there.
Rizzo. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 1 out in the 8th.
This is a fastball, then a curve, and then a fastball. 100, hook, 100. 3 H's. Even too much for Francisco.
I was just say, I mean, his catcher can't hold on to it. How's anybody going to hit it?
He makes it awkward for everybody.
Ian Happ now bats right-handed as Rizzo knows that Rivero has become one of the tougher relievers in baseball. And quickly 2 strikes, 101.
Just simply late.
There's just a slight discrepancy between our numbers and the one on the ballpark sideboard. Roller fair. He went away from the fastball, and Ian Happ doubles off of Rivero.
We did not want tonight to turn into a happening.
That was one of the tips to win. And Ian Happ, second hit tonight for the Mount Lebanon High School product.
Right down the line, right over the bag. The other tip, by the way, 6 quality innings from Trevor Williams. Well, we almost got that after a rough start.
Now Schwarber 0 for 3, 2 at bats against Williams, grounded out against the lefty LeBlanc.
The hook.
Koji Uehara. Looks like he'll be coming on for the bottom of the 8th.
Took a little off the fastball at 98, 99.
Happ with just his 4th hit in 21 at bats against a lefty pitcher. And Schwarber lifts one to right.
He went away from the fastball there.
And Happ is tagging a good strong throw, but he's in there. Second out.
Well, it's not a bad risk when you've got a dominant pitcher out there. He throws so hard, you got a chance for a wild pitch or something. But you know, he doesn't certainly want to get thrown out at third for the 3rd out of the inning either. So this time it works out for him.
Addison Russell.
.101.
Russell scored in the 1st. Crowd loves it, seeing the 100 miles per hour on the scoreboard. It's 0-2 on Russell. 25,000 plus on hand.
Let's see if he stays with the educational delivery of pitching 101. Yeah.
Do you stay with that pitch?
He's got options. I mean, either one. I wouldn't criticize either choice. He's trying to throw it 201 there, and that's the thing with a guy with such great stuff. It's a challenge for a catcher to stay with him, and so Happ being down at third base, not a bad thing for the Cubs. Still heating it up.
And now 2-2, and the left-handed hitting Hayward on deck.
He's still got options. Walk is not terminal here yet. Could be the go-ahead run, but he can try to make his kind of pitch.
Well, just got a piece of it.
Changeup. Changeups at 90 miles an hour. That's just silly. There's a lot of major league pitchers that would love to throw their fastballs at 90 miles an hour.
Pretty remarkable that he got a piece of that, isn't it?
It is.
Russell?
It is.
Think about it.
Yeah, because he's thinking fastball, maybe curve, fastball, curve, fastball. Probably not even thinking about a changeup.
That's a piece.
Again off speed. That's been back-to-back changeups.
Well, we'll discuss it after going back-to-back changeups.
Okay, you want to try to throw through the brick wall again, or you want to try the hook? You want to try the changeup? Closers usually don't have that kind of a mix, and they insist that he has the curveball and the slider. And there's not a lot of difference, to be quite honest. A little change in speed.
Another fastball, still 2-2, and
pretty good battle here.
Russell has Rivero talking to himself a bit.
But the thing is, Russell has to react. Rivero initiates. That makes it tough. That's why hitting is so tough.
The ninth pitch of this at bat. Wow, was he ready for that? Or tried to be ready for it anyway. 88, well out in front, expecting the fastball. When a hitter reacts like that, does that tell you anything at all?
He's out in front. He's starting to swing so
fastball.
early. Yeah.
Here comes the 10th pitch.
Look at the grid is filled up.
Did he go? Yes, says the first base umpire, Clint Fagan. Pirates still lead 4-3.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Felipe Rivero alongside Francisco Cervelli talking to Ray Searage. Those hugs usually mean that they're done, but that would be surprising that Rivero doesn't at least face Jason Hayward in the ninth, because Hayward is a .368 career hitter against Nicasio.
And you made a good point, Greg. They sped it up the bat where Russell had to start the swing early, and that last pitch nowhere near the strike zone. Uji Uehara coming on to work for the Cubs/Giants.
Appears though Rivero is going to start the ninth. Well, we'll see. See if the Pirates can't get a couple more runs. Breathing room. Juan Nicasio has started to loosen up. We've got the left-handed hitting Hayward to lead off, then the right-handed hitting Contreras, Tommy La Stella, left-handed batter, and then if somebody reaches, Chris Bryant. Right at the shortstop, Russell. High throw. Did it? Oh my gosh, he's done it again. It's unbelievable. This guy, as we said the other day, should go to the All-Star game just for this.
He reads the first baseman every time. He reads the first baseman.
Josh Harrison is ridiculous. That's unbelievable how he contorts his body like this.
Last time he was on the other side of the line.
That's crazy.
Saw where Rizzo was going, and he read it and reacted.
That's unreal.
Yeah, it's something else.
Jeez. Error on Russell. See if this leads to an insurance run. Vote J-Hay any day to the Midsummer Classic. Pirates.com/vote for Josh Harrison. He was there once 3 years ago, and the way he's playing this year, he really does deserve your vote. So much fun to watch.
You know, Greg, I probably shouldn't do this, but I get a ballot from the Major League alumni for Heart and Hustle Award. I sent it in the other day.
Why not?
Yeah. Who else?
Yeah.
Who else? I mean,
I don't think anybody would argue that one.
Just wrote, they have comments. I said, yeah, he brings it every day.
Yep. And that's just a routine ground ball to the shortstop. Two 2-0 now on Polanco. Jumps on it, but very foul. Lined out to the right fielder Hayward, his first at bat. Hayward made an outstanding catch on the sinking liner. Hit a hard ground ball to second in the 4th inning and popped up meekly in the 6th. So 2 good at bats, 1 not so good, and now 2-1 count.
And he gets the bat started early. When you just even if just one, just add one to just give you a little breathing room.
Gets him. And we're going to get to our Nissan road ahead. 2 more games left tomorrow night. 8:15 first pitch, nationally televised. Hope to see you here at PNC Park. First 20,000 fans get a Jordy Mercer bobblehead. Ivan Nova against Jake Arrieta. Sunday, Kids Day, Father's Day, Jameson Taillon against John Lackey. Here's Ivan Nova. Jameson Taillon will pitch Sunday, the final game of a 10-game homestand.
Greg, that matchup with Rivera and Russell, isn't that great?
That's what makes it such a great game.
It's just got you, it's got you captured.
Yes.
That was great stuff. Major League Baseball.
David Freese threw a walk, a very important walk, in the 6th inning against Butler, preceding the Bell triple.
By the way, I got a note in the mail from a Pirate fan. Said, when are you going to start saying the Bossa Nova?
Yeah, that's a good call.
The Supernova was working pretty good, I thought. The Bossa Nova.
Drilled down the left field line. It is a foul ball.
Not by much, but a reset.
That's how close it was.
2 feet of separation.
Well, Steve, I don't think that our first-round pick Shane Baz will be in the big leagues in the next, you wouldn't think, couple of years. He could turn 18 tomorrow, but it'd be nice to have someday a rotation that includes Baz and Nova. Strike out David Freese, back-to-back Ks, and we told Shane Baz that we would pump up that Twitter handle and Instagram, and we've gotten some tweets. It's been growing as the game has gone on. At the Wizard of Baz, Shane Baz signed today by the Pirates, their first-round pick. Going to turn 18 years old tomorrow. The pitcher of Tomball, Texas, and some tweets we received, and he did receive tonight. At the Wizard of Baz, B-A-Z.
One he sent at the bottom there.
Yep. What does Josh Bell have in store for us? The opposite field line drive home run in the 5th got them on the board, his 12th. Made it a 3-1 game. Then with 2 outs and 2 on in the 6th. Tripled off the Clemente wall and right. Tied the game. He scored the go-ahead run on the infield hit by McCutchen.
You know, when I saw that that clip they had of Shane pitching with the long hair, just brought a little thought of a young Bronson Arroyo.
Yeah.
That yellow mane in the back.
Yep. It's even at 5 apiece. Pirates up by 1.
Working that inside part of the plate against Josh.
Koji Uehara trying to keep this a 1-run deficit. A lot of years pitching in Japan, and now a 1-2 count. Uehara closed for the Red Sox for a time. Setup man last year. The Chicago Cubs signed him to a 1-year deal in December. Grounded to second. Estella. So it's a 1-run lead. And how will Clint Hurdle work the bullpen? We're going to find out. Quite a ball game. We're rocking on a Friday night, and that Bucco fan brought that flag. So they fly over Wrigley Field if they don't win a ball game. They also fly a blue W when they do win. Right now they're trailing by a run, and we have found out the answer to the question. Now Clint Hurdle is going to work the bullpen. It is Juan Nicasio to start the ninth, and looking for his first Pirate save and his second in the major leagues.
And Pirate pitching trying to run out 8 consecutive zeros after the Cubs put up a 3-spot in the top of the first inning. The Cubs have had 2 base runners.
And a line drive to right center field and a base hit and dropped by Polanco, and Hayward into second base right away. Hayward, we mentioned before last inning, wondered how they would work it. 368 career hitter against Nicasio before that double. And Tony Watson in the Pirates bullpen.
There's a good chance it's going to be 2 bases anyway, but this confirms it.
A leadoff double for Hayward. And now Wilson Contreras.
Here we go again.
It is a different animal, this closer's role. Contreras, Pirates thinking he might be bunting. Backswing clips Cervelli. Spent a week on the DL.
Couple of catchers commiserating. Right on the wrist where there's not much protection.
Contreras checking on him right away. 0-1 on Contreras. Now Bell backs off. Pirates no longer thinking he's going to be bunting, and it's a fair ball, and the Cubs are going to tie it. Contreras into second base with a double. It's tied at 4.
Just reaching out and pushing the ball past first base. And he has been a handful. Doubled in the first. The great catch by Frazier. Next time up, a walk, and now another double. Look at that location just off the outside corner, and does a good job.
Hayward doubled and scores on the Contreras double, and nobody out. La Stella 1 for 3.
And defensively, the Pirates wondering what you had in mind there with David Freese up close at second base, just in case. Or excuse me, at third base, I'm sorry.
Blown save for Nicasio and Tony Watson, who had been closing. Pirates reworked the bullpen this past week. Line to left field and a base hit. Runner going to be waved. Nope, held. It's first and third and nobody out. And Chris Bryant to the plate.
Just a good piece of hitting there with a pitch down and away, pushing it to left field, the opposite field. That's what good hitters do. And this has turned upside down.
Double single. They're going to intentionally walk Bryant to load the bases. Nobody out. John Jay is going to pinch hit. And now we're going to see Tony Watson. Looks like it. How about this? Remarkable game tonight. Juan Nicasio. It is so different to be in this position to try and close games for whatever reason. So Tony Watson will try and keep it tied. He returns here in the ninth in a tie game. By McCutchen, made it 4-3, but attempting to use Juan Nicasio as a closer tonight for the first time, and it just did not work out. 3 straight hits. So Tony Watson will try to do what would appear to be nearly impossible, keep this game tied. Watson looked like the Watson of old in the 8th inning against the Rockies in a loss on Wednesday night. 1, 2, 3, struck out a couple, did it with ease.
Folks have to play in.
Those career numbers against Watson, 417 for Jay. And he promptly singles to left to give the Cubs the lead. And still nobody out. John Jay, a pinch hit single, brings home Contreras. And it's 5-4.
Didn't see this coming. That pitch up in. Tony didn't want to leave it there, and the Cubs have just come out here in the 9th inning and made it kind of crazy. This is the way the game started.
Rizzo now. Swing and a miss. Cervelli
interferes. I don't know what I don't know what he's doing.
Oh wow, it was right off
shot.
Of Little.
And Cervelli was just making sure the umpire was all right.
Wow,
that's crazy. There's a cross-up. Had to be a cross-up.
Clint Fagan came in, the first base umpire, to check on his colleague.
We have seen just about everything tonight.
It's Started with a Rizzo home run to begin the ball game off Trevor Williams that was reversed. They ended up scoring 3 runs. Pirates came back with a bullpen. Williams retired the last 12, the starter. And then LeBlanc, a 1-2-3-6. Hudson did a great job after walking the first man, retired the next 3. Rivero looked strong despite giving up a double to Happ, struck out a pair. But Juan Nicasio here in the 9th. Double, single. Now Rizzo
on top of the plate and choking up on the bat.
Joey Votto-like.
I mean, that's way up there.
Yeah.
Way up.
It's more than Votto.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Two and two. Infield still in. Slaps it into left field, another hit. And going past that stop sign and scoring is Bryant. He ran right through Gary Jones' stop sign. It's a 2-run single and still nobody out. And a 7-4 lead for the Cubs.
That's pretty incredible. There's that bat control, choking up on the bat. Short swing.
Going to pop up and the infield fly. That'll be the first out. So the base hit that scored not only Contreras, or rather La Stella, but also Bryant.
See Bryant getting a great jump, but great jump and never breaking stride.
Gives his buddy Rizzo an extra ribby. Here is Schwarber. One and not in time to get Schwarber at first. You get the force there, but not able to turn 2. Mercer. John Jay, the pinch hit. Single. And Addison Russell's the 9th man to bat in the 9th inning. Jan Marinez. As this one is close to getting out of hand, down 3. A 4-run 9th. That's hit well. McCutchen over. That gets down. This scores 1. Another runner being waved home. And he will be safe. As Schwarber able to avoid the tag of Cervelli. And it has gotten out of hand. 9-4. The bullpen implodes on the Pirates.
That ball is right there. Cubs came into this game just having the offensive miseries, the road miseries, and it took till the 9th inning, but they have unloaded.
And a pitching change. Bucks trailing now 9-4.
In the 9th, they have piled it on against Nicasio and Watson. And Jan Marinez comes on to try to secure the 3rd out here in the top of the 9th inning. His numbers. Looking good after 8 innings, and the Cubs just came out on the top of the 9th. 3 hits, a walk, 2 more in a row.
This guy started it.
Scored 6.
First pitch against Nicasio. Jason Hayward. And he drives this one deep but foul. Madison Russell, 2-run double. Juan Nicasio does not get an out, gives up 4 runs on 3 hits. It's a remarkable thing, Steve. We've talked about it so many times over the years. What is it about the last 3 outs of a ball game? Set up men over the years have been just lights out. They've been tried as closers. Some perform, some don't.
And both of them have had a degree of success. It is a different animal.
Disaster in the 9th for the Pirates. Now Wade Davis so promising. The Pirates came back, took that lead. Looked like the pitching staff was on a roll. John Jay, a pinch hit single off of Tony Watson, who relieved Juan Nicasio. Nicasio did not get an out, attempting to close it and would have been his first save as a Pirate, his second in the major leagues.
You look at the scorecard, only 2 base runners from the 3rd inning on until we got to the 9th. A walk and a double, and then the dam burst.
Wilson Contreras, the double that followed the Hayward 2-base hit. Closer for the Cubs is Wade Davis. This is not a save situation.
Big time strikeout numbers, 13 saves out of 13 chances. Wade Davis getting some work. He's got a cushion.
That's a fair ball for McCutchen. And the second base with a stand-up double.
His second hit. So many good things. So many good things in this ball game until the 9th inning.
That's why it's so disheartening when you have that lead in the 9th and you can't get those last 3 outs.
And to turn it around. Wow, stunning. Just stunning. Like bookends. They got 3 weird runs in the first, and things settled down. Then he got 6 really weird runs in the 9th. Not so weird. They just knocked the cover off the ball.
And Cervelli with a base hit that will bring home McCutchen and make it 9-5.
Huge cushion. Wade Davis comes in. 2 quick base hits. It's 9th inning stuff.
Jordy Mercer. Andrew McCutchen with a couple of hits, on base 3 times. Wade Davis picked up by the Cubs over the winter. Former Kansas City Royal, part of that great bullpen the Royals had. 27 saves for Davis last year. Jorge Soler traded to the Royals to get Davis. Jose Osuna on deck. Jordy Mercer, a line drive to Kyle Schwarber in the 3rd inning. Schwarber made a nice play on him. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Tapper. Bryant's gonna not get him. Infield hit.
Well, you say it's impossible to come back in a situation like this, and percentages obviously massively against you, but you know the Cubs scored 6. So I mean, it can be done. Highly improbable, but we didn't think it was going to be done in the top of the inning either.
Infield hit for Mercer. There's Bryant with a backhand play. Jose Osuna pinch hitting. The rookie, 257 average.
Just keep on swinging, see what happens. Keep on swinging.
2 hits and 18 at bats as a pinch hitter.
Tied him up. Up and in. Up and in, then down and away. The old 1-2 punch delivered by pitchers. Up and in, down and away. Don't give them anything to hit, but don't walk them. That's what we used to tell you.
Checks. Close. 3-1. Adam Frazier on deck. Three and one. And now a full count on the rookie, Jose Osuna.
Boy, if you could ever have guessed what kind of pitch was coming. 3-1 count, you got a massive lead. Trying to find a way to get an out and not wanting to walk somebody. It was going to be a fastball. To his credit, he didn't throw it down the middle of the plate.
It was too close to not offer. Osuna, pitch that was outside, but with 2 strikes, just to protect. "31 years old, Wade Davis, former starter with the Tampa Bay Rays." That is a fair ball for the first out. Our next telecast will be coming up on Sunday. Tomorrow is a national game on Fox. Pirates will send Jameson Taillon to the hill on Sunday. Second start since coming off the disabled list. Coverage starts at 1 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason. Jameson Taillon standing next to John Jaso. Now Adam Frazier with 1 out. The Pirates down 4, 2 on. John Lackey will be pitching on Sunday. 0-2 on Frazier. Ball and 2 strikes. Frazier tonight 1 for 4. Singled off of Eddie Butler, who went 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs. 4 hits, 3 walks, a home run to Josh Bell. Trevor Williams went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs and 4 hits. Josh Harrison on deck, and then Polanco. Frazier gets on, the tying run comes to the plate. Three and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's set that stage and see how this plays out. Seeing what's happened tonight, this could be an amazing story. It would be an amazing story.
Well, Davis entered with this big lead. You wonder why. And maybe they're discussing, hey, listen, let's quit messing around here. That knuckle curve in the dirt. Now 3 and 2 on Frazier. Gotten ahead of him with a couple of cutters to start the at-bat.
Beat goes on.
Trying to battle Wade Davis. Three-two count on Frazier. McCutchen has scored in the inning, led off with a double. Bases are loaded.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Tying run will come to the plate. Dave Martinez has been managing this team since the first batter of the game. Anthony Rizzo, after that call was reversed, and Joe Madden pleaded with the umpiring crew to at least check with New York. They did. The call stood. After they reversed the call, the home run call was then ruled foul. Then Joe Madden was ejected. Bases loaded at third base. It is Jordy Mercer. Jose Osuna, fielder's choice at second, and Frazier at first. Foul. Harrison is 1 out of 4 and eluded Anthony Rizzo in the 8th inning on the Addison Russell throw.
Well, worst case scenario, Greg, you wear out their closer.
Yep. Carl Edwards Jr. in case it gets to the point where they need to lift Davis. Too many pitches. Out in front, 0-2. Two on Harrison. Still 0-2 on Jay Hay.
Pitch number 23 delivered.
Most pitches he has thrown in any one outing, 34. It was last month against the San Francisco Giants. Davis hasn't worked since last Sunday. He gave up a run, a couple of hits. Picked up a save against the Rockies. And 1-2. toward Hayward. And didn't know what to root for. All kinds of stuff.
I know. We were all suspended for a moment.
Looks like it might be in play. Maybe Hayward has a shot at it, and then he had enough distance. Perhaps it hits off the wall.
Yep. When you hear that sound of the bat to right field in this ballpark, you get all kind of emotions going on.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo there. See? If that's a fair ball. That's extra bases. J.A. wanted it to stay fair.
Put a little Carlton Fisk on it.
1-2 on Josh Harrison. Gets him. High fastball. Pirates down to their last out.
Josh Harrison against Wade Davis. Here's how it goes, pitch by pitch, and it was a pretty good battle. Foul ball, the sinker. Behind in the count, 0-2 right away. And then the battle starts. There's the one we thought had a chance. There's the one we saw get by Josh. Davis wins that one, second out, and he's working hard to get 3.
So now it's Polanco, who has had a couple of good swings, a couple not so good. That's hit hard but foul. Looks like that's fair. Rizzo probably gets it. Rizzo right on the line.
That's the one you did want the uppercut swing on.
Yeah. He struck out against Uehara last inning. He was 0 for 3 against Butler. Line to right field his first at bat. One big swing and Polanco could tie this game. Rizzo over there by the line and deep.
Talk about rocking Friday night.
Whoa. 0-2, and now Davis pitch away from ending this. Will be one of the better comebacks of the Chicago Cubs this season, no doubt. 6 in the top of this 9th.
Yeah, when's the last time they scored 9 runs? Been a while.
Wanting that pitch up, Contreras, but Polanco not chasing. And that's it. The Cubs win it. Well, the last week the Pirates lost their 2 toughest games of the year in Baltimore, back-to-back, and this one might top those 2.
Yeah, you feel it more. It's a game
against the Cubs. It's a division rival. It's the defending world champions. You came back, you had that lead, and the bullpen implodes.
That was a tough one. It started ugly and it finished ugly.
We'll go out to Dan Potash and Kent Tekulve.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we found out about 10 days ago that the Pirates are going to unplug Tony Watson as their closer and kind of have 2 men do it in Felipe Rivero and Juan Nicasio. Well, Rivero has had a couple tries and has performed well. Nicasio getting a chance tonight. I don't think it'll be the last opportunity, but it did not go as well as they had hoped.
Yeah, it didn't go as well as they'd hoped. And, Nicasio has spent most of his career in the middle innings. So, that's what he's most used to. He has pitched the 8th inning on occasion. Typically in the past, that's when Tony Watson would need a day off, when he was setting up Mark Melanson or, situations like that where somebody needed a day off. But today, this was Rivero's inning to be the 9th inning. Decision was made. Rivero was going to pitch the 8th. Nicasio was going to pitch the 9th. Rivero got his job done in the 8th. Nicasio not so well in the 9th.
All right, well, just as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, presented by Miller Lite. Josh Bell has flexed his muscle all season long, and you can add another one to that list. From the left side of the plate, he goes to the notch in the 5th inning for his round tripper, and then hits a triple in the 6th off the wall and right that brings it 2 to tie the game. Couple hits, 3 RBIs for number 55, but not enough as the Buccos unable to hold on to the lead in the top of the 9th inning and fall in this one 9-5, dropping game 1 of this 3-game series against the Chicago Cubs. All right, we are just getting warmed up here at PNC Park. Clint Hurdle's post-game comments and reaction from the Bucs clubhouse coming your way. Extended highlights and analysis from Kent Jacoby. You will also hear from the Pirates' #1 pick, Shane Baz, who has signed on the dotted line with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Out-of-town highlights and much more. It's Pirates post-game presented by Allegheny Health Network, and it's coming up next.